We are at Country Gold Theater Museum in downtown Blissfield and are talking with a man who is rich in country music history. He is a member of the Grand Ole Opry, also is inducted into the CMA Country Music Hall of Fame, as well as Michigan's Country Music Hall of Fame. Little Jimmy Dickens gives a lot of credit to Michigan, especially Saginaw, Michigan, where he spent some of his early days before heading to Nashville. We first met Little Jimmy Dickens backstage in his dressing room before his performance, where he was reminiscing with old friends also inducted into Michigan's Country Music Hall of Fame. This is Buzz Ryder. Buzz Ryder is the founder of Michigan Country Music Hall of Fame. And this is what goes on in the dressing room. Chit-chat about music, the old days.
You should have been here 2 minutes earlier. You'd have caught Tater with his clothes off.
Oh, that would have made the front page.
A lot of things go on and a lot of things come off.
Well, maybe some inspiration now, Jackie. You've written a lot of songs in dressing rooms, haven't you?
I've written them. What do you mean? Written some in restrooms. Copied them off the wall and everything else. So I was coming through there a minute ago and someone said, "Hey, Orville." I went to him. Someone said, "I look like some guy named Orville." Orville Redden. Where's your popcorn? Starting to look like Orville, yeah.
Before our interview with Little Jimmy Dickens, he gave us a little preview of a song written about a good friend, Porter Wagner.
You want to hear something new?
Something new.
I don't drive a Trans Am like Porter Wagner does. I ain't cityfied like he is, and I don't wish that I was. But I built up a name for kissing girls, and they're all trying to find me. I can out-kiss him with one lip tied behind me.
Jimmy, we're here because you are in the Michigan Country Music Hall of Fame as well as the CMA Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yes, sir.
And it is a pleasure to talk with you, and we'd like to know how, well, all that you played in WKNX radio up there in Saginaw, Michigan for quite some time. Could you tell us a little bit give us a little bit of background on that?
Well, I was in radio for years before television, of course.
Yeah.
I started with Casey Clark, one of the acts and one of the people responsible for this place, and that plays here all the time. And everybody in Michigan knows Casey Clark. He's also in the Michigan Hall of Fame, and we've been friends since I was a kid. And I started out in a band that he was with there at Beckley, West Virginia, in about 1939, I think it was, and I was still in high school. And I went from there cross country. I went to Fairmont, West Virginia, and I was there in 1940, and then I went to WIBC in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I was there all during World War II on the radio twice a day, every day, 6 days a week, and then I moved from there to WLW in Cincinnati, and from there to Topeka, Kansas, and from Topeka, Kansas to Saginaw. And I really think that my year or so that I spent in Saginaw, Michigan was one of the most pleasant years that I ever spent in radio before I went to the Grand Ole Opry.
I know I used to listen to you every week. And
I loved it and had so many dear friends in Michigan. And they were so kind to me.
Jimmy, how did you get started into the music field itself? What inspired you? Was there some inspiration there?
My people, I suppose. They all mountain people and coal miners. And they all played music as a hobby, and very good, I must say.
Oh, yes.
But none professionally. They didn't play professionally, just for their own amusement and for little meetings and church meetings and things of that nature. But they all played different instruments and sang the old gospel tunes and loved the bluegrass music. Yeah, they did, and that's the way I was raised with it. And so, at an early age, I just wanted to be an entertainer, and all through high school, I was determined that to give it a whirl, you know, and try to become a professional entertainer. And by doing so, working locally and with anybody that I could. Finally, a little bit of other people rubbed off on me, and I've done very well with it, I suppose. And it's been a wonderful life. I've enjoyed it all.
You certainly have made a lot of hundreds of thousands of people very happy. Jimmy, what has been the most exciting? I know there's been many things in your life that's probably excited you, but what has been the most inspirational, or what would you pass on to a young man or a young lady coming up today in this field of music or learning, what would you pass on to them?
You mean young entertainers?
Entertainers, yeah. What would you pass on to them?
Well, I learned early from my friend T. Texas Tyler. He was a great entertainer and a great performer. And he was one of the most humble people that I've ever known. Yet he was a great showman on the stage. He taught me, we worked together during World War II in Indianapolis. And he taught me to be nice to people. And first and foremost, you're nice to the people that come to see you. And never look on those people as a fan. Look at them as a friend that's come to help you out. They don't have to be there, you know. And I've always kept that in mind. And then when I went to the Grand Ole Opry, Mr. Acuff was my advisor for the first year that I was there, and taught me the do's and the don'ts that you do at the Grand Ole Opry. And so by doing that, I made a lot of friends there. The announcers were my friends, and all the entertainers were my friends, and that helps in the business. You be nice to the people that you work with, and they'll be nice to you.
Amen. Jimmy, what was the most, as far as recordings, now you've had the scores and scores of beautiful and comical records and so on. What has been the most, well, the one that you like the most? Do you have a favorite one or a most, well, there's a requested one, a most requested one. What would be your favorite, if you can name one?
Well, I don't know that I really have a favorite. Sleeping at the foot of the bed has been about as close to my way I was raised as anything I know. With all the kids and the kin people and all that together in the country. Everybody in the whole country that was raised on the farm or raised in the country can relate to that song.
Yes, they can. Jimmy, the day that you found out that you were inducted into the, well, CMA, Country Music Hall of Fame, that is an honor. That is certainly would be just awesome. What was your feeling when that happened?
That's something that all entertainers dream of, and there's so many worthy people that should be in the Hall of Fame that probably will never be there. And to be voted into the Country Music Hall of Fame by your peers and the people that you've worked with, and they base it on what you've contributed to country music. That's a great honor.
It is indeed.
To be known that you leave this world knowing that you have contributed something to an industry that you love and that you've worked hard for all your life. And it's good to know that people think that much of you. And it's just a wonderful thing. I was nominated 4 years in a row before I was inducted to the Country Music Hall of Fame.
Well, that's an honor itself.
Yeah, and just sitting down there anticipating maybe they'll call my name tonight, you know. But it was a wonderful thing, and I just can't explain the feeling to you. You have to experience it to really. You sit there 4 years in a row, and you've got your little speech already if you go up, and then on the way to the stage you forget all that, and so you get up there and mumble for a while.
Jimmy, I cannot think, little Jimmy Dickens, I cannot think of anybody in the world. I mean, you give so much to country music. You give so much to the people, and we'd just like to say thank you very, very much for being part of Michigan Magazine, and we wish you continued success throughout the rest of your life.
Let me thank you for what you're doing, and I appreciate that very much.
Jimmy.
Thank you.
I met this kid in West Virginia. He's been entertaining the people ever since, and I will guarantee he'll entertain you today. Let's give a big hand to little Jimmy Dickens.